What's up, everybody? Welcome to the stream. We're gonna get started here soon. Where are you guys tuning in from today? What's going on? How you doing?
We head for the sky, it's alright. Our wings wouldn't fly, it's alright. If we are crashing down again, pieces of love, it's alright. Scattered in mud, it's alright. You're giving me a lie again. And tell me what you want, this time I won't take it to the heart. Cause I know we won't make it out, I've heard it all before. Yeah, tell me what you want, let me hear that I'm the only one. You know that we won't make it out, we've heard it all before. It's alright.
All right, guys. Hey, what's going on? Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're tuning in from. Stoked to welcome you to today's live broadcast. So today is going to be a continuation from a late night stream I did a couple nights ago, and we're working on a client project. We're working on a low poly. That means like a basically a bunch of triangles, right? Low poly. Let me show you what we're talking about here. So this is the logo we're working on, and we're taking the shape of a bowl. We traced it out and created these triangular geometric shapes. All right, and we kind of ended up here after the last stream. So this is where we currently are sitting with the project. All right, so what we want to do now is based on what I know the client still wants to see. I'm not there yet. We have a lot more to do. I'm not super happy with the transition of these colors, so I started working on getting a much more is broad the right word? Complete. A lot more colors, a lot more shades to work with instead of just like 4 or 5. So that'll help it transition smoothly from one color to the next. We're going to play with that a little bit today. Then, what else? Okay, so then the other thing is, so here's one shape of the bowl, but I know that we want to do one where the leg is lifted a little bit. Let me show you what I mean. So we're going to do this process again, and we're going to do it with this shape to have this one where it looks like it's a little more in action, right? Instead of just standing there. So we're going to play with that a little bit and borrowing some inspiration from some of these low poly designs to get there. Okay. And then the other thing we're going to work in, so we've got these colors that I like that we're going to work in. And the originals, let's see, I think it was these two orange colors where we started with from feedback from the client. But then I also know they wanted this Vesuvius orange from Land Rover. That's the color of I don't know if you call it patented or whatever, but copyrighted, whatever. Anyway, it's this color that Land Rover uses. So that's another version of the coloring we're going to explore today. That and the yellow gold from Lamborghini. So it's going to be a fun logo. I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be a lot of fun. So I'm going to keep diving in here. We're just kind of hanging out, just chilling. So if you have comments, feel free to jump into the comments. I'm watching the comments as I go. Let me know where you're tuning in from, what you're up to. And that's pretty much it. So I'm going to get started here. Maybe another sip of coffee. All right, let's do this. Got real quiet. All right. All right, got to warm up. I haven't had my coffee fully set in yet. All right, let's get going. Let's do this. How do we want to start? What's up? I see you on Behance. Is it Rajat? I hope I said that right. Where are you tuning in from, man? All right, let's see. I'm pretty close on this version. I think I'm going to start by coloring this a little bit more. Actually, no. I think what we're going to do, and if you want to watch the replay, if you want to see how we got to this stage, there is the last video that I broadcast on both YouTube and Behance is available if you want to see it. So check that out. Let's see. I'm just kind of comparing. Let me just bring this down here. All right, so some of the differences here. Let's see. You got the tail, got the back leg, plus the stance. This one's a little more straight on or 3/4. This one's a little more of a profile where he's standing sideways. He's got this leg lifted here. So I'm tempted. Let's see. I like a lot of things about both of them. So what I might do is experiment with this guy. I'm going to bring this one down though, because I know I can add these shards later. So the face needs some attention. All right. The face needs some attention. The legs, this leg especially, I don't know how this slipped by me, but look at this. It looks kind of, I don't know, all jacked up. So I'm just going to, I don't know, fix it a little bit. Looks a little weird to me. Turn snapping off for a minute. Smart guide's off. Doesn't look right. Rajat says, I hope I said that right, man. Says, thinks the black one is looking good. Thank you. Yeah, I like that. I like that as a shape too. Plus, if I start with this one, two things will happen. One, I already have a solid version. So if we use this in production, which we will, whether it's embroidering on a shirt or screen printing on a shirt or a single color, you know, maybe frosted on glass, the office doors, you can do this with one color and the shape of this bowl looks very nice and I think works very well. Now, if we use this guy, I only started with this trace, right? And I actually traced it over this image. So I guess I could start with this image, but this image here is stock art. And look at their foot's kind of jacked up on this one too. I don't like that. Anyway, when you start, I don't know. I don't like using stock art on anything because I like to do it from scratch because I want it to be something that we can copyright and own and make it our own. So I started with this trace, you know, which still kind of borrows from the shape. So I don't know about how original that is, but by the time we get down to here, it's obviously clearly different. So all that to say, what's up 420 on Behance? Thanks for tuning in. I have no idea what you just said. Sorry. So think what I'll do is we'll start with this one and do the poly stuff to it also. All right. Hello, 420. I just Google translated what you said because I was curious. Your cow is cool. Thank you. I appreciate that. So, gosh. All right. Let's keep going here. So what I want to do is I'm gonna have to do both of them. So where should we start? Should I redo this whole process on this guy right now, or should I keep tweaking this guy? I wonder. Okay, let's just keep tweaking this guy a little bit, just real quick. I think what we're going to end up doing. I think we're just going to completely hack this leg off. And that's why I make copies of things, because if I want to come back to it, I've got a copy up here that I can do. What's up, Robert, over on YouTube? Thanks for tuning in. Awesome. Thank you, Robert. Yeah. The iPad Illustrator stuff is a lot of fun. The only reason why I'm not using iPad Illustrator for this, it's fun and I really enjoy it. But if you can see, my setup right here as I'm going, and right now I'm kind of doing a weird setup. I've got this brand new Wacom tablet that I really, really enjoy. But right now, I'm just so used to using the keyboard and the mouse combo, and specifically these shortcuts. So Command, Option, Control, Shift. Like my hands, you'll notice as I design, are constantly right here bouncing around with stuff. So plus, as I switch to the Direct Selection tool or the Selection tool, like I hit all these keys, like right in here, my keyboard's basically worn out. So because this is for a client and I'm trying to go kind of fast today, I decided to switch back to the tools that I'm faster at. So rather than using the iPad or using even the Wacom tablet today, I'm kind of just rocking the mouse and keyboard combo right now. So anyway, that's why I'm doing that. All right, so what we're going to do now, I'm going to try and get this leg. Actually, you know what we're going to do? We're going to just cheat. I'm going to get the pen tool. I'm going to lock this guy. Command 2 to lock it. So that way I don't accidentally click on it. I'm going to get the pen tool. And I'm just going to... And I'm single clicking because I want it to be angular. I don't want it to be rounded. Oops. I'm going to hit Shift X to switch from a fill over here to a stroke because it was filling in this shape. I don't want to fill it in yet. I want to be able to see what I'm doing. All right. Now I'm just going to make more than I need. I'm going to grab this new leg I just made. Boink. And it's not to scale, but look at that. We can scale it. All right. So let's see here. I just want to see, is this close? All right. So it's close. I'm thinking kind of like that. Let's fill it. That, I think, is headed the right direction. I don't know. I'm not super good at drawing animals. It looks like it's going to tip over a little bit. Yeah, this guy, see how he's planted and that front leg's kind of supporting him? This guy looks like if you sneezed on him, he'd just tip right over. So let's fix that. I'm going to hit the letter Q. That is my, I think it's a lasso, is that what it's called? Yeah, lasso tool. Because then I can click and drag around and I can select specific points if I want. So what we're going to try and do here, I'm going to select just these anchor points, and I'm going to switch to the Direct Selection tool. So hit the letter A on my keyboard. And then I can grab and I can kind of move things around, okay? Just those anchor points. So let's, okay, we're going to have to, let's see what happens here. Oh goodness. So just these guys. That's headed the right direction, maybe. So I'm just switching back and forth between the lasso tool, which is the letter Q, to select anchor points, the direct selection, which is the white arrow tool, and the letter A on your keyboard to grab specific points. And to get these, I'm just clicking off, dragging around, and then anything inside that box is going to get selected. Because if I just grab one of these anchor points, you can see it kind of breaks. It just grabs from that shape. So I want all the corners from this shape, from this shape, and from this shape. So I'm clicking off here, getting the whole thing, and then I can, grab them all. So just kind of nudging things in place till it looks right. And I feel like it's looking worse. Okay, so how can we fix this? Visually, it feels like, because of the way the shape of this body comes down here, it feels like this is like a third back leg, and now this is the front leg. Because see how this shape comes past? Like, this color really needs to be different to really sell this. All right, so we got some things we got to fix here. Ugh. I don't understand why this is not. Something weird's happening here. We'll just make a new shape. What is happening? All right, let's try this again. So we got this guy. I'm going to lock it. Command 2. Okay, so now that's going to feel a little better. Like there's a line across this, so it puts it behind. Okay, now we got to fix this front leg again. All right, cool. This is the kind of stuff that already takes a long time to get it right, but then I enjoy it, so I probably end up spending way too much time with the little details. But that's, I think, part of the reason why I've been successful as a designer is I spend time on the little details, right? Getting it just right. All right, so now I want this to feel like it's... We'll change the color. Whoa, hey, there we go. You see this says my cow is cool, or this says hello, I think. I don't know. Okay. All right, so these colors need something else. No. Okay. So just a reminder, if you're just tuning in, so we're making this low poly logo, and the way that we got here, I actually go over in detail in the first video in part 1, which is available. It's up for replay. Yeah, so now what we're doing is we're just kind of pushing this design further, refining it. So we've got 2 versions of this bowl. We've got the one where he's standing pretty squared up here. And we're just kind of refining details like his front foot. Like, I'm not happy with the angle of that. I didn't catch it till I looked at the replay. And then we're doing a version where he looks like he's more in motion. So I'm kind of making this guy look like this guy as an option. Just kind of getting it close. And then I'm going to do the process again to this one here. So if you want to learn how to do the low poly thing, I'm about to get to it. So you can either hang on, or you can watch the replay, or at the very beginning of the last video, I go over it pretty early on, so you can get that. All right, how are we doing on shapes and stuff? Let's keep going. Awesome. Cool. so what we're gonna do right now is the tough part because I'm just kind of agonizing over. I'm gonna move this leg back a little bit, I think, and that'll help make it not feel like it's the front leg. I think I turned my snapping off. View. Show smart. Why am I not seeing smart guides? There we go. So now, boink. Now it'll snap into place. All right, that's better. That's better. So look at, by moving his back leg, this one, he looks like he's much more squared up and kind of 3/4 angle looking at you. And this one now, it makes it seem like it's more of a profile. And again, to grab his anchor points, I'm just using the direct selection tool, okay? Or the lasso tool to select things. All right, that's headed the right direction. That's headed the right direction. It's not there yet. We definitely need to work on the coloring a little bit more, but I just wanted to see by making this shape darker, it separates it from the body. All right, that's better. So now we got to do the low poly effect to this leg that I kind of copied from over here. So I'm going to change this color to something just totally random and different. I'm going to send it to the back so I can just kind of see. Let's see. All right. Let me think about this real quick. Okay, so now I got that matched up pretty good, I think. All right, now let's add some low poly triangles. Okay, so the way that we did this last time, I'm coming at this a little different this time. So think about the best approach. We're gonna try something. I'm gonna use the line tool on my keyboard. It's this top key up here. Which slash is this? The forward or backslash? I don't know. It's that one. Keyboard shortcut. Okay. Here it is over here, my line tool. So now we're gonna make some lines. I'm gonna just kind of click. I forgot with the line tool, you can't just click like the pen tool. We have to click and drag. So I'm gonna click and drag. I'm gonna click. And I can't see what I'm doing. Let's add a stroke to this. So I'm gonna get the eyedropper tool. Or I could just, I guess, just double click over here. I just wanna be able to see what I'm doing. And let's make that stroke smaller. All right, back to my line tool. And no real rhyme or reason. I'm just kind of connecting wherever there's an angle, like the joints, and I'm just basically making triangles out of this thing. All right, let's see how we did. I didn't even, oh yeah, we kind of did this. Well, these are a little different. They're a little weird. I might redo it. So this one, I kind of made a line through the middle. Not that it has to be the same. I'm just trying to figure out what the, it's a lot of triangles. I don't know if I want to do that many on there. All right, we're going to do it though. But before I commit to this, here's what we're going to do. In case I hate it, I'm going to make a copy. All right, so now I can go back to this if I don't like where this is going. So so right now I have this leg shape and then I have all these little separate lines. Okay, so we got to merge them together. Do I have lives at the same time or randomly? Currently, Abby, they are random. So right now, my wife is about 9 days or less from having a baby. We're gonna have a baby at any time. So I'm going live as much as I can, whenever I can, because as soon as the baby gets here, I have no idea what's gonna happen. Actually, I do. This is my 5th kid. We have 5 kids. I've got 4 daughters. This is my first son. Super excited. And we've I keep meaning to make a schedule. I keep meaning to like put together a regular stream time, but I'm kind of also experimenting with the best time to go live that fits our family and also that fits, you guys' lives and when you actually show up. So in the very near future, maybe not so near, maybe like May, once we get our life figured out after the baby shows up, I'll make a schedule so you guys can count on being live. In the meantime, if you want to know when I'm going to go live and you, because I usually send out an email before I go live, go to my website at derrickmitchell.com. I think there's a link down below. Also check out the Bootcamp while you're here. You can learn more about my courses that I've made, and there's free tutorials. If you click up here, you can see my YouTube videos. There's some really cool stuff that I've done. I think it's cool. Anyway, so on the tutorials page, you can join my newsletter right here, or from the home page, if you just scroll all the way to the bottom, because I hate pop-ups, you can join my newsletter down here. So join the newsletter, and then when I go live, you'll get a notification. Or, depending on where you're watching from, if you're on YouTube, you can subscribe, tap the bell for notifications, or on Behance, you can follow my profile. So all of those ways, I appreciate your guys' support and for tuning in. But yeah, I would love to have you be a part of the stream regularly. Show up and say hi. Awesome. Got the email today. See, Abby showed up because she's on my email newsletter. So there you go. There you go. And just for showing up, Abby, do you have any of my courses yet? Thanks, Vikram, for showing up and the follow. I appreciate it. Corey, thanks for showing up. Is it Pierre, thanks for showing up. Same. Got the email. I want to do a giveaway. I'm going to give away the graphic design bootcamp. I got a new subscriber, new follower, Vikram over on Behance. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for the subscribe or the follow. Vikram, if you email me at completegraphicdesign.com, let me get this so you can see it. There you go. No, completegraphicdesign at gmail.com. Completegraphicdesign at gmail.com. There we go. Vikram over on Behance. If you see this, thanks for the new follow. Email me at completegraphicdesign at gmail.com. I want to hook you up with the graphic design bootcamp. Abby says, yep, I have the bootcamp. Abby, do you have the vault? Whoa, I apparently am scrolling the comment. Didn't mean to do that. Don't know how I did it. Abby, just for hanging out. I know you've got the bootcamp, but I want to give you the vault if you don't have it already. So Abby, email me at completegraphicdesign at gmail.com and I'll hook you up with that. All right, let's get back to work. What were we doing? Okay, so we made this leg. No, you don't have the bootcamp or the vault. I mean, Abby, you do now. So email me completegraphicdesign at gmail.com. I'll hook you up. I'm going to hook you up with the vault. Vikram over on Behance. So send me those emails. We'll get you hooked up. All right, so let's get back to this leg here. So we've got these two different things. And the reason why is because in this version, I just have these little lines, okay? And in case I screw this up, I have a copy to go back to. So we're going to come over here and we're going to grab... Okay. I think I can just grab it like this. I'm about to do something kind of technical. Hang with me. I'm going to click on the bowl, Command X to cut it. Oh, those didn't come together, so I'll undo that. Let's make sure that these are grouped. Okay, so that's all grouped. Command X to cut it, so it copies it to my clipboard and cuts it off of the clipboard at the same time. So now it's hanging out on my clipboard for me to paste back in here. I'm going to highlight this leg. I'm going to come over to the Pathfinder window, which I Can't ever remember which one that is. So I'm gonna go to Window, down to Pathfinder. There it is. All right, and then down here on the left, bottom left, if you don't see this, no, that should show up. It should be there. Okay, anyway, this little guy, Divide, we're gonna click on Divide. And now what it does is it takes all these lines and this main shape and it smashes them all together. So now this is one group. And now I can actually use the eyedropper tool and fill in these shapes with color, okay? Looks like I've got a little bit of cleanup to do. It looks like this one wasn't quite touching on the end here. So that's all right. We'll come back to that. All right, but now I still have that bowl hanging out on my clipboard. So I'm gonna hit Command F as in front or Frank, however you want to say it. It's front. It's because you're gonna paste in front. If I just hit Command V, it's gonna throw it wherever it feels like it. All right, I don't want to do that. I want to hit Command F or Command B to paste it behind, or F to paste it in front. Doesn't really matter, but what it does is it pastes it in the exact same spot from where I copied it. So if I hit Command F, look, now it's pixel perfect, exactly where I cut it from, instead of just throwing it randomly on the artboard somewhere. All right, so now let's color this leg to kind of make it match a little bit. So what we're gonna do, without anything selected, I'm gonna hit the letter I to get my eyedropper tool. We're just gonna sample this yellow, and then I'm gonna hit the Option key, which is gonna flip. You'll see my eyedropper tool changes from the sample version to the fill version, okay? So now this is showing me I've got ink inside of my little eyedropper tool, and I'm gonna go ahead and when I click, still holding down the Option key or the Alt key, it's gonna fill it. So now I can sample another color and then fill it. It's just a faster way to work. If you have something selected and then you try to sample things, it's gonna sample and change whatever's selected at the same time. We don't wanna do that right now. All right, grabbing some color. Just to kind of see how we did here. Okay, so let's fix this where these are both being, actually it doesn't really matter. It kind of matters, let's fix it. So I took my direct selection tool and I just clicked off here and then came back and grabbed just this one anchor point. You'll notice that these anchor points back here aren't selected. We get in real nice and tight and then click and drag. Oh, okay, we've got more issues to fix. All right, so I'm gonna get the Q, the lasso tool instead. So when I click a circle around here, it grabs the anchor point from this blue and the orange at the same time. So now as I click and drag, it kind of comes with me. I click the divide again, and I think now we've got a different issue. I can't get in tight enough. There we go. Okay. Okay, now I think, yeah, now these are separate shapes. Okay, but this guy, we have the same problem down here. You can see it just isn't quite touching. So this is where it gets a little bit tedious, a little bit time consuming. All right. Whoa. All right, not bad though. Not bad. There's another look. We got the leg. We got things kind of looking right there. So I'm going to highlight everything now because this leg's still separate, or at least it thought it was. Maybe it's not now. I must have grouped it at some point. But usually what I would do is highlight the whole thing with my selection tool. Got extra anchor point up here. Highlight the whole thing, Command G to group it. So now when I click on any of it, move it around, it all stays together. All right, cool. Corey says I'm a shortcut god. I've been doing this for over 20 years, and I feel like, what's the movie? Oh, I can't think of the movie. Is it Minority Report, where he's got like the screens up and he's doing all the like things with his hands, you know, to like pull up the screens? That's what I feel like. So when I'm making a design, it's almost like I'm typing it up on my keyboard. I rarely come up to the menus, or I rarely click on anything on the side. It's typically all shortcuts. And what's really cool about this design, well, any of the Adobe products, really, like honestly, every one of them. If you come to, give me a second to remember where it's at. Okay. On a Mac, it's going to be under Edit, Keyboard Shortcuts. On a PC, it might be in here, but it also might be under File. No, it should be under Edit Preferences or Keyboard Shortcuts, I think. Anyway, Keyboard Shortcuts. If I click on this, not only does, so like every single one of these menu items can have a shortcut applied to it. And so in here, you can apply what the shortcut's going to be. So you can see some of these don't have one applied currently, but let's say I use the type on path tool for like every single thing I do. I could click in here and I can define what I want the shortcut to be. And let's say I want, let's say you want something else, maybe you already has the same shortcut, but you don't use it as much, so you can replace it. So a lot of times I'll define my own custom shortcuts when I do things. So then as I go through and I'm doing things, my mind I can just roll and not think about the technology or think about going up to the menu. Also, if you start billing per project and not per hour, you're going to make a ton more money, because what's going to happen is as you get faster, if you're charging per hour, if it takes you less time, you're going to make less money. But if you can say, hey, I'll do this logo for you for $500, and maybe the first time you do it, it takes a long time, but maybe you get fast enough and you do it in 1 hour, all of a sudden you can make $500 per hour. That's pretty incredible, right? So it's definitely worth learning your shortcuts and getting good at that. All right. Cool. There's a look. I'm happy enough right now. I'm just kind of thinking about the shapes. This is headed the right direction. I think we can work with this. I could fine tune this and probably spend a lot more time here. But this gives me a base. I'm not happy with the colors yet, but it gives me a base to go back through and start applying all of these colors to. Now I want to do the same thing with this bowl, because the shape is a little bit different, and I know we like this icon for something else that we've done. And yeah, so I got to do the whole process again with this. So maybe what I'll do, now we're just going to go for it. I have to do it. You guys are welcome to hang out. And if you don't like it, you can just come back later and skip ahead to the end. And watch the replay. But I love that you guys are hanging out with me today. So, all right. Let's do the same thing to this bowl. Let me just kind of back out and just kind of reevaluate where I'm at with my life here. We're going to work in these colors. We're going to work in these colors. So really what I need to do next is get this bowl shaped. You heard bowl shape and you thought I was going to say something else, didn't you? Just me? Okay. All right. So what I just did there, I hit Shift O to get my artboard tool. I clicked on the name of the artboard, held down the Option key, and drug a copy down. That way it brought all the artwork with me. So I have everything that I've already done up here on one artboard. I can leave it alone, and I can come down here. Also, guess what I haven't done this entire time? I haven't saved yet. Command S to save. And I know that because right up here, .ai, I've got this little asterisk next to it, which is telling me, hey, you haven't saved this yet, Derrick. So let's save that real quick. And I'm just going to delete all of this because I don't need it right now. I'm going to delete all this. So really, this was overkill bringing all this over. I could have just made a new artboard, but whatever. I wanted to show you what I was doing. Okay, so let's... I got to trace this guy out. Before I commit to it, I want to make sure that I'm happy with this shape. I think it's pretty good. I think we can go with this. All right, so let's lock it down. Command 2 to lock it. It's the same as coming up here to Object, down to Lock, and that just makes it so I can't click on it by accident. Okay, I'm gonna get my pen tool. So we're gonna do the outside outline first. We're just gonna make a shape with the pen tool. So literally I'm just gonna click around, right? I'm just defining a shape, and I want it to be rough like this. I don't want to do any curves, right, with the pen tool on this version. I've already got this bowl which has some of the subtle curves. It feels a little more natural, right? Now we're going for the low poly effect, right? The geometric effect. So we're gonna use the pen tool, and I'm going to swap this because I don't want, as I trace around this, I don't want it to start filling it in. Shift X to swap my fill and my stroke. Okay, so now as I make my outline, now the next thing I want to do is black on black. I'm not gonna be able to see what I'm tracing very well. So I've got my stroke in the foreground. Let's double click on it. And let's just grab some bright color, bright pink. Awesome. I'll get my pen tool again. And now let's start tracing. So also what I'm doing, you may or may not have noticed, I hit the space bar a lot. The space bar is a shortcut to change to the hand tool. And then as soon as I let go, it changes right back to whatever tool you had. So as I trace around this, I'm hitting the space bar and then clicking while I'm holding the space bar, and it lets me move my canvas around. And then as soon as I let go, it's because sorry, my shortcut key's freaking out. I use a thing called visualize so you can see my shortcuts, but it doesn't know what to do when I hold the key down, other than strobe like that. Okay, so as soon as I let go of that though, you'll see I'm right back where I left off with the pen tool and my line's still connected. Pretty cool. All right, now I don't know if I want to finish my shape. Well, I can add a line across this later. Yeah, we're gonna, yeah, we're gonna do that later. I was trying to decide if I wanted to add the tail separately so it looked like it was kind of around the back instead of hanging off the side here, but we'll address that later. All right, so we got our shape. Let's add this horn over here. And I actually want the line to follow the same path as this, exactly. So I'm going to click here and here. And then I'm just gonna move this guy up. Now I know that this line and this line are the exact same, they're parallel. They're parallel lines now. All right, but now that I close my shape up, it kind of makes a little bit extra work for me up here, but that's all right with me because I wanted to make sure that these are on the same. Although that kind of goofs me up a little bit. Just gonna add a couple extra anchor points in here, and then get my direct selection tool. Drag them out where I want them to be. I kind of goofed up. This is taking way more time to do it this way than it probably should. And because I have smart guides turned on, when I grab this anchor and I drug it kind of up, it stayed on the same plane parallel to the other line. Okay. So yeah, this is definitely taking me longer to do it this way. I could have done something different, but whatever. We're learning new techniques today, guys. Is that gonna work? How's that look? All right, that's probably fine. Okay, cool. So we got that. Command Option 2 to ungroup the bowl below it. And again, because I like to have options to come back to in case I screw anything up. I'm just going to drag a copy over here, holding down the Option key. All right, so now I can delete this guy here. So I've got the outline. The tail is a little much. There's probably more. I might need to look at that. Oh, you know what I'll do? I'm going to look at the, is it a gecko? Sorry, words are hard. I was just looking at the tail here to look at how they did that. I thought it'd get to be ridiculous. Cool. Interesting. Also, not everything's a triangle. Look at this. Like that. Like here. So I don't have to make every single piece like only be a triangle, right? Like here. Okay. That might help it look a little better. And then looking at my legs here, see how they're just only triangles? It might work better if I implement some rectangles as well. So, something to look at. Okay. All right, let's get my line tool. And now we're going to start fleshing this out a little bit. I'm just going to look one more time at what I already did. Just to kind of see what I might be able to do better. All right. Cool, cool, cool. I'm going to make my stroke much smaller. And I think I'm going to change my color. Well, just want to make sure I can see this better. That's better. Okay. And now my fill, nope, my lines, I'm going to make them, actually I'm going to keep them yellow, I think. So the biggest thing with this, you got to make sure your lines are actually touching, or you're going to run into problems later. I like that, but we can fix it later. That's going to be what I say every time. I don't know if I like it, but I can fix it later. It's true though. Like, I think half the battle is just, you know, getting something out onto the canvas so you can, you know, analyze it later. Don't overthink it. When I was in college, I really struggled to write. I had classes where I had to write a lot of things, and it was really difficult for me to commit to something because I'd get like 1 or 2 sentences in, and then I'd try and correct everything before, and edit it before I'd even made any progress. And so when I met my wife, obviously not my wife at the time, she helped me just think like, hey, just dump your thoughts out on paper or on canvas or whatever you're doing, and then you can always edit it later. So much like what I did up here, where I started just kind of throwing things down and then jump into the next one, and then I wasn't sure how to do the head on this, so I made a copy of it, and then I started doing the head. Okay, and then I played with it further, and then I started playing with colors, and I didn't quite like it yet, so I refined things further. And so rather than like only working on one version and like trying to get it perfect, being an Illustrator is awesome because you can just clone it and just keep going and see what you like. Plus, at the end of the day, this design isn't even up to me. It's up to my client to say, yes, I like it, or no, I don't like it. So not that I don't care, but I want to give them options to tell me what works for what they're doing. Yeah, you're totally right over on Behance. Is it Kyle or Keel? Referencing the anatomy of the bowl rather than just a silhouette would probably help you get the form better. 100%. You're totally right. The other thing to pay attention to is where your light source is. So, oh geez, I can't even see this. It's so bright. But if your light source, let's come up here. I did this on the other stream too. If your light source is up here, let's say this is the sun. Let's move that. Okay, you got the big yellow one is the sun. And then its light is headed this way, right? It's going to be brighter on this edge, and things are going to be darker along the bottom. So, coloring things and shading things go a long way in getting it to look right as well. All right, let's change the colors on this. All right, I don't like these legs at all, but I'm gonna keep going because I can tweak them later. Oh, I don't like that though. I gotta fix. Okay, we're gonna keep going. We're gonna keep going. So I'll take Kyle's or Keel's, sorry if I'm butchering your name, idea to reference the anatomy of a bowl. This is difficult to see with all the texturing. So let's jump over into Adobe Stock. Gets me close. Just gonna take a screenshot, Command-Shift-4. I'm using the spacebar to move it around. And I'm still holding the mouse down before I let go. And then once I get it where I want it, then I'll hold down Control, then let go of the mouse, and then it copies it to my clipboard. I'll paste it over here, and I'm gonna flip it. I'll hit the letter O to get my, what is this? The Reflect tool. So then I can click from this side, and then hold down Shift, and it reflects it. It flips it. So that's cool. All right, so let's look at this to see if I can take any cues from what's happening here. I don't know. I think I'm just overthinking it at this point. I decided that for being a logo, I didn't want a ton of tiny details. So I'm doing a little bit less instead of a bunch of small ones. Those are still pretty small, but it's not quite as small. This anchor point, I'll move up here. So you can see how with this process, I mean, there's ways that I could definitely speed it up and do things differently. And there's ways that I could spend more time with it too. So it's just at some point, just up to you to make it cool looking and do whatever you want. So what I'm looking at now is like, if this were a rounded leg, the shape of it, it would kind of be the tallest, closest to you, if that makes sense. Like if it's where it's rounded, it would be the lightest. So I'm making this line kind of down the middle here. And these lines that I just drew that don't have any anchor points in the middle, I'm hitting the pen tool, or the letter P for my pen tool. I'm clicking right in the middle just to add an anchor point. Then I'm grabbing my direct selection tool so I can grab that new anchor point I made and I can bend that line a little bit. In this case, right here, I'm using the letter Q to get my lasso tool to make a smaller adjustment or smaller selection here. So, I don't know. I think this works. Oh. Did I paste it right on top? I totally did. Delete. Okay. Oh, let's save while we're at it. All right, so I don't know. I think we're headed the right direction. We just got to keep going. Just a second, guys. Just checking on something real quick. All right. So I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to try in this leg. I think I'm going to try making fewer lines here. Yeah. And before I give up on this, I'm going to save the progress I made on this one. This is just going to set the tone for the rest of it, which is why I'm kind of agonizing over it. I want to make sure that I get it right. And as I think about this, I don't think I want like a million little triangles here. So I'm going to save this in case I come back to it. But I'm going to experiment. Oh my gosh, you guys. Okay, that's better. It looks a little bit more like an origami thing. So a reminder, so this is for a real client. They wanted to see a low poly bowl. And if you're like, hey, I want to just see the end, or I want to see the process sped up faster. If you want to see tutorials and actually go through things step by step, I do have courses on my website, and I have YouTube videos where I go through pretty in depth with some different graphic design techniques. So it's a great way to get up to speed quickly instead of sitting through, a 2 or 3 hour live stream. However, some of my best experiences and where I've learned most of what I do came from literally sitting right next to, when I had an internship, I sat right next to the main guy. I literally sat like uncomfortably close right next to him, and just watched his process, watched how he thought through things and how he made things. And that was some of the best learning of my life, because it was real world, and it was learning how to think through and problem solve and apply different techniques that I had no idea existed when it came to like using the design software. So that's where watching some of these live streams is really helpful. For me, though, I know a lot of times, like, I just want to get in. I just want to know the information. I just want to like learn it really fast. So if that's you, if you just want to get in and learn it real quick without any of the extra fluff, I highly recommend the Bootcamp for you. That's a course that I made where I basically just like jump in and teach you the most important things that in my career, what I would say are the most important things that clients want me to do the most, right? The things that make me the money, that helps me provide for my family. Really cool course. So check that out. There's a link below. All right. Got real focus there. What's up, Christine? Thanks for jumping in. see you over on Behance. I mean, I don't see you, but I see your comment. That'd be weird, right? If I could see everybody. I guess they call that a Zoom call. I've thought about doing like a Zoom call, like a 10 or 12 person group thing. I don't know what we would do exactly. I don't know, but it sounded cool. Looks like a scorpion. Yeah, it totally does. Now that you say that, we might need to come back and try some different things with that. Whoops. What is happening? Oh, my fingers weren't on the right shortcuts. There we go. So the most critical part, and well, maybe not the most critical part, but a critical part in this working out the way you want it to, is two things. Well, one thing for sure. Go to view and make sure you have smart guides turned on, because you want these lines to snap to each other at the ends so the anchor points all come to one spot. Because if they don't, it's going to screw you up for the last when you make these all shapes. Because right now, these are all just separate lines, right? So I can't fill this in. It's not a shape. At the end of this, though, what we're going to do is come up to Pathfinder and hit divide, and it's going to mash it all together. Super cool. But if you're drawing this and they don't snap, they're not overlapping, you're going to have issues. All right. I always get to this part on the neck and the head and I'm not sure what to do. So we're just going to make another copy, because then I can always come back to it if I need to fix things or do it a little different. So the other thing that's going to help sell this visually. So if I were to make this line connect from here to here, this part, it just visually doesn't look right. Whereas if I make it come a little bit short, it looks like this part of the neck. I don't know how to describe it. Words are hard, but you get what I'm saying, maybe, or maybe you don't. I don't know. All right. Let's see. So waiting for the finished product. Yeah, me too. Is it always triangles or various polygons too? That's a great question, Christine. So you can do whatever the heck you want. This is your artwork, right? For me, at first, I was thinking, oh, they have to only be triangles. And that's pretty much what I did on this version, with the exception of the hooves down here. These are obviously not triangles. But everything else on this was. And then as I was looking at some of the other inspiration that I had, like this guy, pretty much only triangles. But on, where did it go? This little guy. So you'll notice there's some rectangles on this too. So it's a lot of triangles, but then some rectangles, or what would you call this? Oh my gosh, shapes, guys, kindergarten. In my defense, I'm running on like 6 hours of sleep, which is a lot compared to the 4 hours of sleep I had been getting. If you're just tuning in, my wife is super pregnant. Like in 8 or 9 days or less, we'll have a new baby in the house. So we're already struggling from getting enough sleep. So it's a hot miracle that we're keeping the stream on the wheels here, or on the tracks. Okay, so look, so yeah, you don't have to do like this, like his arm. It's just one big shape. It's actually almost a little bit of a curve to it also, I noticed. But at the end of the day, if you're doing this, and look at this tail. Okay, so we got mostly triangles. Here's a rectangle. But if you're doing this parallelogram, not a parallelogram, but close. You didn't join how I do the points. So Adrian, yeah, let me just show you guys real quick. So, and if you want to see this from the beginning, this is actually the second part of the beginning. So this whole part at the beginning is the stream video right before this one on Behance or YouTube. And the way we start is we make an outline, and that's with the pen tool. Then I use the line tool. So the pen tool, we just click and drag a bunch of points, right? Then I use the line tool And if I just click with the line tool, it wants to see how big the line segment is. So just hit cancel. With the line tool, you actually have to click and drag, okay? So you're gonna get a bunch of lines and then the main outline. So when you're ready to do this, this is for you. Was it Christine? No, Adrian. You highlight the whole thing. You go to your Pathfinder window, which is under Window, down to Pathfinder, okay? And then down here on the bottom left, we have Divide. As soon as you click that, what's gonna happen is it's going to mash all these together. And now I can take my eyedropper tool. And the way that I like to work is I make a bunch of swatches first. I'm just going to copy these guys over here so we can play with it. So I make color swatches, and then I get my eyedropper tool, and I can start filling in these shapes. And apparently I did something wrong in the sample. I didn't have these overlapping enough. Let's try that again. So now, these are shapes. Okay, hopefully that makes sense, but that's the direction we're headed down here. And same deal, I made the outline, and then I wasn't happy with the legs, right? So then I made a copy so I could kind of play with that a little bit further. Then I got up to here to the head, and again, I was kind of not sure what I wanted to do, so I saved this as a version in case I need to come back to it. Right there as I'm talking, I just hit Command S. It's just a nervous twitch for me to save my work as I go. And now we're going to flesh out the head on this, okay? We're getting super close. And again, just to kind of show you, if you don't want to stick around to the end, you're like, how in the heck do you do this? I'll take a copy real quick. This whole thing's selected. I'm going to come here to my Pathfinder, click on Divide, and now all of these are shapes. That's it. So then, a couple ways to work, but again, the way that I like to work is the eyedropper tool. I can sample colors from anything. And what I'm doing is, with the eyedropper tool, nothing else is selected. I click on it. So now it's loaded. And then as soon as I hit the Option key, it changes from the sample tool to the, I don't know what you'd call it, but now it pastes the color in, okay? So now you can just go through and color your artwork. And there you go. There's your low poly. This is a very interesting color scheme, but that's how you do it. So now that you know, you can go have lunch and go do whatever the heck you want to do with your life. Christine says trapezoid. Yes, I think that's the word we were going for. Shapes, things you think you would never forget from what, kindergarten? I should ask my 7-year-old. She could tell me what the shape was. Oh my goodness. Okay, so what we're doing now, we're hanging out, and I got to get this work done regardless because it's for a real project. So I'm just going to keep going until I get it right. And you guys can hang out with me. And we'll have lots of fun. And we'll tell stories about things. Tell me a story. Let's see. Yeah, Christine, choosing the right color tones will be the tricky part. And here's how I'm planning to do that. So the client already told me they like this. Is it Vesuvius Orange from Land Rover? So the way that I got these color swatches, I just drew a rectangle. A square, technically, because I'm holding down the Shift key. Then click on it, hold down the Option key, click down, then hold down Shift to make it perfectly straight. And then once you step something down, once you've copied it, I can hit Command D over and over and over, and it's going to step and repeat that. So now I've got a bunch of squares, and then I just sample from the image next to me to get those colors. So that's how I did that. And it's just kind of a work in progress to get it to be the right colors that I want. Okay, so now I've got color swatches. I actually probably need another version in here. The other thing you can do, if you don't have an image where you can grab all those, I have 2 copies of the same thing. So I'm just going to open up the color swatch down here, double click, and then wherever the color picker is, just choose something slightly darker. And you can see the before and after, right? So you kind of get that in between. Okay. That's kind of my approach to color. I mean, there's a lot of, that's a gross oversimplification, but that's, when you're working fast, that's a great way to do it. All right. Oh, I think there's a way. I want to try something real quick. I want to see. I think there's a way. Oh, what is that tool? Yeah, I think there is a way. I think it's like this, though. What I'm trying to do, I want to get the exact steps in between. And I think if I use, I forget what the tool is called. Somebody help me out if you can. Yeah, Christine. Yeah, even though I have all this, you still have to put the colors in the right place. And that's going to take a lot of work. There's a blend tool. I think it's even called the blend tool. I don't use it a lot, so I can't remember where it's at. This one right here. Okay. The blend tool. W. Okay. So if I click on, I've got them both selected. I don't remember how to use this. Oh, just like that. Okay. So I click from one to the other and it blends the colors. Now what I'm going to do, if I hit return, while the tool's selected, it brings up the tool's options. So right now it's doing a smooth color. I'm going to change this to specified steps. And let's do like, I don't know, 10. We'll make like 10 colors. Okay. And then I'll click OK. Yes, it did exactly what I wanted. Look at that. Okay, so now what we're going to do, blend in steps. Yes, thank you. Blend tool. You were on it. You were all over it. I appreciate that. Yeah, exactly. So now what we're going to do is we're going to break it apart. I don't have to. I could leave it like this. But if I go to expand, object expand, it's going to break it apart from being like an applied effect to being individual shapes. However, I don't want, there we go. I got to separate them out a little bit. Now, object expand, boom. Look at that. So cool. All right. So now the color gradation, is that the word I want to use? I've got a lot of colors to work with when I start colorizing this later. So I'm stoked. It's going to be super cool. I'm almost there. My LaCroix. Some naturally limoncello. Sparkling water. All right. Let's start working on the head again. So I live in Kalispell, Montana, and I love it. Where are you guys tuning in from? Okay, the other thing that I learned in kind of looking at what other people did to make this look right is that they tend to put the eye in first. Here we go. So like this, make the eye first and then kind of build around it to get it to look right. India. Awesome. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to kind of figure out where the eye should be. Let's look at my sample. Oh my gosh. Okay, eyes. Kind of put one up there. That looks a little high for the eye now that I look at that again. And great, I think it was, I don't remember who it was earlier in the stream mentioned looking at a reel. Romania, awesome. So I'm going to look at some anatomy of the bowl real quick and just kind of see where the eyes, there's an example of, obviously this is an illustration, but I'm going to copy it, throw it in here, flip it, scale it as a reference. Let's jump back over. Let's scroll. Oh, cute little puppy. Look at that. All right. There we go. This will get us there. This guy. Maybe this guy for the nose. Facing the wrong way though, so let's flip them around. So the way that I did that so fast, hit the letter O to get my reflect tool. Click from one side, then hold down shift and then drag towards the right, and it's just going to flip it. You can drag, any direction you want, but whatever. That's how I did that. All right, so that's probably plenty. I tend to St. Peters, Missouri. What's up, Jessica? Hey, thanks for tuning in again. Italy. What's up, Massimiliano? Sorry, words are hard. Massimiliano? Did I say your name right? Ontario. Hamilton, Ontario. What's up, Christine? Limoncello is my favorite liqueur. That sounds really good right now. All right. Let's see. I think I have plenty. This is where you have to know yourself. So I have plenty to keep going on this. Plenty. And then what happens is I start trolling for a half an hour because I want to see what other images are on the internet. Because why not? And then once I've seen the entire internet and I still haven't finished my logo and the project is due, then I panic and then come back to it. So look, I've got plenty. I'm just going to close this. Oops, I closed the wrong window. Whoops. Close the chat window. Let me bring that back. Bring it back. All right. Okay. I'm going to try and say it right. Massimiliano says say Max. All right. Thanks, Max. I like that. You're probably like, no, you still completely butchered it. I'm sorry. All right. So what I'm going to do now, I want to get this eye in the right place. I'm also looking at the nose. Would you say nose? What would you call it? Christine says my business had a really cool bull logo. All right, so we want to get the eye in the right place. So what I'm going to do, it doesn't really matter. Not that it doesn't matter, but like this is stylistic. It doesn't have to be snout. Yes, that's the right word. Thank you. Snout. Or maybe, I don't know. Is it what would you call it on a horse? The face part. Is it the face? The nose? Guys, my wife just walked by as I said that, and she had the best facial expression. I wish you could have seen it. Hey Jen, you want to come jump in? Is that a no? All right, you don't have to. She says no. She's doing things. Muzzle. Oh man, it's time to. At this point, I can tell that I'm getting tired and I would probably go ride my bike around the block or do something creative. But because we're streaming, we are just going to muscle through this and just keep going. All right, let's get the eye. Let's start there. So I could do something that's a little more natural. By natural, I mean truly follows the exact shape. Just going to throw color in there. So what I did, it was just an empty thing, and I hit I real quick and just clicked over in the image just to throw some color in there with the eyedropper tool real quick. Bangladesh is in the house. What's up? Thanks for joining. So this is one approach that I could do for the eye. Let's kind of drag that into place a little bit. Somewhere in there, maybe. So growing up, I always really liked math and science, which is funny that I'm basically an artist now. And what I liked about it is that for the most part, there was like one right answer. And I really like to do, like, I like to know that I'm doing things the exact right way. And so it's interesting to me that I ended up, not two things. One, being an artist, basically, where it's so subjective. I could beat the crap out of this thing, like just overwork it, right? And there are 100 ways to do the same thing. Like if you want to make a rectangle, I could use the rectangle tool, or a square, or I could use the pen tool and, make a square. Like there's so many ways to achieve the same thing. So for somebody like myself who likes to know the exact right way to do things, it's funny to me that this is what I ended up doing for a profession. All right, I feel like this is, I don't know, something's just not right with this, and I can't tell what yet. Maybe it needs to have more of this kind of shape, right? Where there's a little bit of a step down. That might help. Also, the other thing I want to be careful of is I'm building this shape. The purpose, we already established that the client likes this shape, and we might be keeping this for some other things, and we might not. But this version that I'm working on right now, I want to be able to have this more rounded outlined version instead of this more harsh geometric shape. So I want to build this version first. I don't know. I feel like what needs to happen is that this would kind of come up here a little bit. Oh, that immediately helps it. And then maybe even like, okay, I've got an outline going on in this thing too. It's screwing me up. What is happening? Oh, I see what's happening. Okay, shift click, Pathfinder, chop it. There we go. Okay, so yeah, that's what's gonna fix this. If I click on here, and then just kind of step this down a little bit, something else weird's going on. Okay. Oh, now it kind of looks like a dog. All right, but clearly there's a lot of work for me to do here to get it just right. And I'd like to point out that I am far from perfect on this stuff. So I think something as a designer, especially if you're just getting started, it's easy to see the final result that somebody did. For example, this still has some things I want to fix with it. But if I just looked at this and this is all you saw, you might think, wow, that's really cool. That's really great. But you don't see all of this garbage that I went through to get it to be like looking like that. So hopefully it's encouraging, maybe. Yeah, encourage. This is just getting weird real fast. No. Oh man. Ugh. Okay. Thanks, babe. Some melon. All right. That's good. Much better. Okay. All right. Yeah, plus looking at this now, it looks like it's like a rhinoceros with the horn out the middle. So, man, okay. This is encouraging and discouraging. Like, I see what needs done, but then I also realize, like, oh my gosh, there's so much more work to do to get this to look right. Like, a ton. It's all right, though. I'd like to say good thing I have a ton of time, but I don't, because this needs to get done, and my wife's about to have a baby. So, time to get there. Okay. I have no idea what the song is saying, so if it's inappropriate, I'm sorry. Oh, crap. Okay. It used to be longer. See, and this makes it look like a beak. This makes it look different. Like, just subtle nuances in the lines make a huge difference. And guys, it's funny, I went to college and I have a 4-year degree, a bachelor's degree in art of all the things. Like, I had to do figure drawing. I had to do darkroom photography. I had to do art history. I have an art history major. No, not major, minor, a business minor. And, but I still struggle with this stuff, right? So, gosh, that looks awful. But hey, Command Z. This is why I love digital art. If I was painting, I did painting a lot too in college. And if you suck and you screw up with paint, you can't undo it, right? So that's why I love Illustrator. Just undo it. Command Z. I like the reggaeton play. Okay, who is the playlist? So the playlist for the music next to a Bad Bunny geometric logo, that would be awesome. Yeah, that's funny. Actually, I have somebody with a t-shirt like that, and it was really cool. The playlist for the music. So what I use Epidemic Sound. And whoops. There we go. I use Epidemic Sound, and so that way I can license the music on my YouTube channel and on the streams without getting royalty strikes. And so when I'm designing, typically I listen to other music, like mainstream music, but I can't play that while I'm streaming. So if you go to Spotify, if you use Spotify or Apple Music, you can actually search for Epidemic Sound. Go to their profile. And they have all kinds of playlists from their library. So it's the same as if I actually streamed it from their website, but it's just easier with Spotify, because then what's actually happening right now is, so I'm using my old phone. My new phone is actually up above me to get this shot. So my iPhone 12 is up there in a bracket, and I use Epic Cam from Elgato to stream to Ecamm, that feed up there. And then I'm using my old phone that's connected to my soundboard via Bluetooth, because then I can control the audio of my computer, and then this is Bluetooth playing from Spotify, so I can control the volume real easy. Then, because I have Spotify open on my computer, what happens is it's playing the sound from my phone, but it sees what song I'm playing on the computer. And then if I want to skip a song, I can just push a button on my Stream Deck, and it changes the song via my computer, but on my phone through the Bluetooth channel. How's that for inception or overkill or whatever you want to call it? I don't know, but that's how I do it. That's how I do it. That's the magic behind the stream. Yeah. It was the genre of music. Yes. Right? Such a good point. If Picasso would have had so many doubts, the world would be poor from cultural point of view. Yeah, imagine all the things that I should have just put out, but I hit Command Z and you never saw it. I undid all my hard work, right? So, all right. So there's the music. That's how I do it. This bullhead is killing me. All right, let's just fight through it here. Usually this would be a super great time to take a break. Either because mentally you needed the break, or you needed a fresh perspective, or this is a great opportunity, like if this was you making this, to ask a friend to look at it and be like, what's wrong with this? I can't figure it out. Or if you don't have that, join our Facebook group. Let me show you. So I've got this Facebook group, And I'm not in here as much as I'd like to be, but we have over 17,000 members. So join it. It's Complete Graphic Design. So facebook.com/groups/Complete Graphic Design. And then you can post your work in here, get feedback from students, get help when you need it if you get stuck. Yeah, it's a cool place to be. And again, the reason why I'm not in here as much currently as I'd like to be is because I deleted Facebook and Instagram from my phone so I could focus, for one, and for two, because of the privacy policy. I just didn't want that on my phone. So I'll jump into this group quite a bit. But in the meantime, it's an awesome place to get feedback. We even have a mentorship program. So up here at the top, we got the main discussion, but right here is mentorship. So if you're looking to be a mentor to somebody, or if you're looking to get help from somebody, you can pair up with somebody in the group. It's awesome. It's going well. So check that out. Would love to have you join. That's the group. All right. All right. I think it's time to turn the music up a little bit and just kind of get going. Am I on Discord? I am, Adrian. I'm on the Behance Discord. I personally don't have Discord for my students. I have a Slack channel for my students. If you're part of the Vault, you get access to that. But I'm on the Behance live streamers Discord channel. All right, I gotta get this shape right before I keep going. Ah, man. Oh my goodness. This is not what I want. All right, this is just not working out. Let's play Guess the Animal. The last one was a robot. Exactly. And then we can go for, like, you know, alien turtle thing. Oh my gosh. Wow. I'm just feeling like I'm just butchering this so bad. What can I get back to find? Ooh, golden ratio logo. I actually made a golden ratio. Turn my music down. Golden ratio ruler one time. I don't know. It might be on my server. I don't think I have it on my laptop right now. And the way that I made it, this is roughly, I forget how I did it. Basically, you make like two shapes that correlate to the golden ratio. And I forget how I got there. I'll have to do some, I'll figure it out. So then basically, as you design, oh my goodness, what is happening? Oh, I know what's happening. So let's pretend like this was the golden ratio. It's not, but let's pretend. So I use this ruler for everything, and you can scale it up. So as you scale it, your golden ratio scales with it. So as you're designing things, I would use that to make sure that everything was all according to the golden ratio. But anyway, that's for another day. Thanks for the idea. All right, I think, gosh. I think what I'm going to do is go back to this version because it's close and multiple people kind of approved it. And I'm going to make sure that I'm headed the right direction based on this as the model. Scale this guy up a little bit. All right, good enough. I don't want to beat this thing to death here. Don't forget to save. All right. Oh, man.
Been feeling trapped down on the floor. I don't know what for. Feels like I'm gonna lose. Silence takes a hold. I can't let it go. Chain up, no one knows. But I won't let the stormy seas throw me in open water. Let me have my peace and leave me till tomorrow. Wind into my sail, away from things I let go. Floating on the waves. We go bottoms up, we go all the way. When you're feeling down, push the pain away. We go bottoms up, we go all the way. And face it another day. We go bottoms up. Hurting in my soul, shaking through my car, left me in the cold. Chained to what I know, drifter on the road, take it where I go. But I won't let the stormy seas throw me in open water. Let me have my peace and leave me till tomorrow. Wind into my sail, away from things I let go. Floating on the waves. We go bottoms up, we go all the way. When you're feeling down, push the pain away. We go bottoms up, we go all the way. And face it another day. We go bottoms up. We go bottoms up. And face it another day. We go bottoms up. We go bottoms up. We go bottoms up.
Oh, my goodness. Now I'm just trying to speed things up a little bit. All right, it's gonna need a lot more work, but it's something to work with. Okay, so now what we're gonna do. Now's the fun. Well, I mean, it's all been fun. Are you out of here? What's that? Are you gonna get kids? Katie's here when? All right. All right. So you got Georgie. All right. Love you. All right. Now comes the fun part. It's all been fun, right? Okay, let's turn this into not just lines, but the actual shapes that we can fill. Highlight the whole thing. Let's divide it with our Pathfinder. So we had a little mishap up here. Let's see what these are doing. It should have worked. All right, divide. All right, so we got a couple things to fix here. What the heck? There we go. All right, now you'll notice, well, it doesn't really matter because right now these are all strokes, but if I change it from a stroke to a fill, all these little jagged edges go away. But if you wanted to fix that and leave it as a stroke, over here in your stroke window, there's show options. And I just realized my camera's in front of this, but let's move this over here. So you can change the edges right here on the corner. Change it to the rounded join. And then you'll be able to not have all those spiky things hanging past. Cool. All right, that looks good. Now let's Shift X to change it from a stroke to a fill. Oh, except for the eye. We want the eye to be something else. All right. Now we get to color it. All right. So there's that. Oh, no. Oh, no. I filled everything in pink. So now I get to step back and see how far back it was before I broke this. Oh, no. Which is also why you save extra versions of your work. There we go. Whew. Crisis averted. Maybe. Why is everything grouped? There we go. Okay. I'm going to save right here. Make sure I didn't screw everything else up. Okay, good. All right, let's go grab those colors that we made up here. We'll start with this batch. I'm gonna make another batch. No, we'll go with that for now. Okay. So we're going to start top down, and we're going to start with the light colors up above. Let's see how we do. The chat is very quiet, Christine. Thanks for jumping in. I'm also very quiet. I got real focused. Oh, anyway. Thanks for sharing your portfolio. I see that on Behance. All right. This is actually, it's going to take a lot of work to get it exactly how I want it, but I feel like this is definitely headed in a good place. I think I've said headed in the right direction at least 20 times today. But it is. So those guys are connected. It's not ideal, but it's not the worst. All right. Here comes the drop. Oh. Oh. This is Hopefully you like the color. The amount of work this takes. Okay, so this piece is kind of screwed up. Something happened. Okay, so these are connected down here. So, oh man, you can't even hardly tell though. Let's see, can I? That might have fixed it. I have a feeling as I'm doing this. Actually, you know what though? I can use the edit recolor feature. So once I get this done and the tones are in the right place, in fact, I could even do this as grayscale. I can take these color swatches and use the edit recolor artwork. Maybe edit colors, recolor. Okay, so I could recolor the artwork all at one time without having to go through it again and doing the whole thing. So if I get the shading right, it'll be easy to go back and fix. Also, I just realized I haven't eaten today. I guess my wife just got me this. All of a sudden, my stomach is like killing me. So what I'm trying to do here is, because I want it to be darker along this bottom edge, I was just stepping through these color swatches. So basically, like I wanted this one to be, this was a different, it was, I don't know, pink or whatever. And I want it to be the same color as this, but just the one shade darker. So I just started clicking through until, okay, that's the match. So I just want it one step darker. So I just clicked there and left it. So that's how I did that. Now this one, I want it one step lighter. So same thing, I'll just sample this color and then go one step lighter. And this one I want one step lighter than that, because as it comes back across the back of the bowl, I want this top to be a little bit lighter than everything down below it. So we're going to start stepping it a little bit lighter. You guys are really quiet in the chat. It's okay though. It's all good. There we go. That's how I feel. I forget to breathe sometimes too. Actually, I do. If you guys watch Moto Monday with Paul Gowan, we just had our final episode, but on Mondays, if you go look through the replays on Behance, you can check them out. He has helped me a lot with my breathing techniques. So, you know, when you get anxious and have anxiety and all that good stuff, actually it's not good stuff, but when you get all that, like how your breathing can really improve everything. So I'm gonna grab my Behance channel real quick. So this, all the ones that say Moto Monday, that's Paul. Hey Paul. We stream a lot about just different, some like success and mental health and business and all kinds of stuff. So check out these Moto Mondays, super cool streams, very unique, especially for the Behance community. Yeah, breathing is important. So is eating. I'm starving right now. It's all right. It's all right. Keep going. Yeah, Christine, meditation and breathing is the best for anxiety. Anybody do yoga or work out or have any outdoor hobbies? What do you guys do for fun and to stay in good shape? Yeah, this bit definitely is super time consuming. And hopefully you're seeing how my approach to this is trying to pay attention to where my light source would be. As I'm going through this, I'm trying to make anything that would be on the top or up above. Again, if we had the sun up here and it's casting light this way, right? The edges are going to be light and then the bottom edges are going to be dark. So we're trying to give some depth to this by making anything on the top be the brightest value from my sample of colors here, right? And then anything along the bottom is gonna be dark. So as I go through, like even this tail, like this side of the tail is lighter because it's still getting light, right? Again, if the sun is here and it's casting light this direction, right? This edge would be lighter than the bottom edge for the most part. Right? So that's mentally, as I'm going through this, what I'm thinking through as I'm coloring this. It's not perfect, but it's also a lot of fun. All right, that's something. Don't forget to save. Sailing. Oh, you would love it. So I live in the greater area is called the Flathead Valley in Montana, specifically in Kalispell near Glacier National Park. And we have a lake here called Flathead Lake, and it's 186 miles around this whole lake. It's huge. And on the south end of the lake, there's would you call it a harbor if it's on the lake? I guess you would, yeah. Anyway, and there's like a sailing club down there. Super cool. And you see the sailboats out. It's gorgeous. Here, I'll see if I can find a good photo of where I live. So this is Flathead Lake. Oh, I've been in this house. This monster of a house, I did a photo shoot for this once, actually. Well, I didn't do the photo shoot. Clint, if you're watching, I know it was you and John. Anyway, the point is, this boathouse, this is just for their boats. It's a 4,000 square foot house just for their boats. And they had a $9 million wooden jet boat in here. And it has these tracks that come out into the lake. So the boat parks in this house, and then they have these tracks. The boat comes out, and I don't remember how many square foot this house was. It was insane. It's a castle. It's absolutely insane. And they had to buy property on the mainland, 2 different properties, one to stage all the construction and the other one to run power along the lake floor to get to the house. It was a monster of a project. Yeah. Unreal. Sorry, total tangent. I've been in this place. Unreal. Oh, I didn't mean to close that. I was super curious. Where'd it go? Oh, there it is. Yeah. Crazy. Crazy. See how the boat goes into the garage there? That's not the $9 million boat, but... Okay, so this is the front side of this house. So I'm like 6'6". I'm pretty tall, right? And so these doors absolutely dwarfed me. I think they were like 10-foot doors or something. So like to try and put into perspective the scale of this, like it is just huge. And this is Flathead Lake. So here's the Rocky Mountains across the top. Absolutely beautiful, beautiful place to live and to be. I love it. So anyway, Flathead Lake. You'd like the sailing here, Christine. Now I want to see if there's sailing photos on Flathead Lake. There we are. Anyway, all right, super tangent. Lunch break is over. Okay, hey, thank you. Is it Colosai or whatever? It says a stream is laggy to the point where it freezes for a while, so you might want to check it out. Okay, so I think what we'll do, we might call it a day on this stream. I think that for the most part, you see the process, and now I just need to do the work. If you're still hanging with me, thanks for tuning in. You can also check. Yeah, nothing like roughing it at the summer house for sure, Christine. Oh wait, the stream might be laggy on. Oh, that's on Twitch. Are we good on Behance? Are you guys still hanging with me? Is the stream doing okay? I'll wait for a second because I know you're behind me. But Christine, if you're still watching, guys, if you're still around, let me know if the stream is the audio synced up to my voice or is it painful to watch? And is it still going okay? You can also check out YouTube, youtube.com/Derrick Mitchell. Stream is great on Behance. Fine. If stream's great on Behance, that's where I want to be anyway. We're going to keep going. So, yeah. Hey, thank you for teaching the fun. Yeah, I was going to shut it down, but I think I might keep going. I might as well keep the stream on for a minute and just kind of keep working through this. If you guys have questions, this is a great time to ask questions as I just kind of get going on this. What time is it? I might need to shut this down in about 10 minutes anyway. So, but we're going to keep going for a little bit longer. Yay. Was that a yay that I'm going to keep going? Yes, yay that I'm going to keep going. Perfect. Thank you. I'm glad I'm not completely boring you guys. Like I said, this is something that's difficult for me to want, like trying to find that balance between, we're just hanging out and loving that you guys are, we're hanging out and making some stuff, right? Getting some work done. And I'm available to answer questions if you guys have questions. But then also like, I don't know. If it's time to shut it off and be done, we can do that too. But some of my best learning experiences, like I said earlier in the stream, is when I had an internship and I literally just sat behind the designer and watched him work. So actually, and I just made a mistake. So I started making these darker tones based on what I was doing here, but these tones need to be in the middle of the body because down along the bottom, I want to work with the darkest tones that I have available. This is going to be the shadow area. So honestly, this is going to be the darkest part on the body. You love doing tedious things. I should send this to you and you can do it for me. No, I love this too. If I wasn't talking so much, it's difficult to do this and talk at the same time, I feel like, for me. But yeah, I enjoy this kind of stuff, or like coloring, like even just coloring, like straight up with a crayon in a coloring book. It's so fun. Thank you. Watching you do this is calming brain therapy. Thanks. At least it's not brain damage, because it could easily, we could go that way with it too. All right, looking good. Don't forget to take a break, guys. I should be taking a break, but I'm streaming, so I'm just gonna plow through it. But this would be a great place to break. I can feel it. My body is saying it's about that time. I'm just gonna do a little bit more. So, I mean, the other thing to think about, there's probably a much, much, much faster way to do this. And in fact, I just thought of one. It's not quite the look I want to go for. But if I use gradients instead, let's define a few gradients. I'm just gonna start with this one gradient. Grab it all, hit the letter G to get my gradient tool. Not quite what I meant to do. Also not, I wonder, I define my gradient here first. And actually I'm gonna go from this angle. So then if I sample this, does it follow? No, it doesn't. Okay, that's an interesting effect. It looks like leather almost. Almost. I mean, not quite. Almost. So what I'm doing now is I have the gradient tool selected. And then if I hit Command, it usually would change to the selection tool. But because I had the direct selection tool selected, then I went to the gradient tool. Now when I hit Command, it goes back to the direct selection tool. So now I can click in any one of these shapes, and then as soon as I let go, it goes back to the gradient tool, and then I'm clicking and dragging from the top to the bottom. So Command, click, let go, click and drag. So this is actually a significantly faster way to work. Look at that. That's actually really cool. Let's keep going. Let's see what happens. Oh, my... Direct selection tool, letter A, now back to my gradient tool. So that way once I command click on a shape, I can do that. Oops. This is like way faster working this way. I don't know if I like the effect per se, and I've got a lot left to do. It's interesting. We'll leave it. We'll say that much. We'll say it has potential. And then the other thing I can do, my gradient is this right here, from light to dark. So if I start my gradient, for example, on, oh, I screwed this up too. Fix that real quick. There we go. If I start my gradient, for example, on this shape, and I start really high and then I stop like here, see how it makes it darker. Or if I start here and then drag down, now the whole shape is lighter. So I'm kind of, if it's along the bottom, I'm kind of starting higher to make the bottom of this be darker. Right now I want this one to be really dark, so I'll, Anyway, I hope that makes sense. I don't know. This is interesting. It has, man, this is going to take a long time. Oh. So that's another idea. Another way to work. Audio is perfectly synced. That's awesome. I know it's from earlier. Yeah, just refresh on Behance. The 7th inning stretch. I need to. Seeing the Obey sticker on your desk. This Shepard's work. Yep. I know he has no idea. Shepard has no idea I even exist. So, but I love his stuff. So my hard drives, I've got 2. I was going to look for the other one because I needed it for something. I think it's in my safe. So I bought his sticker pack from his website. So this drive is Obey, and it's literally, if I plug it in, it's called Obey, and it has, I even made a graphic. Actually, I think I show you exactly how to do this on my YouTube channel. And then I've got another sticker that's got the Andre the Giant, Obey Giant. So that drive is called Giant, and this one's called Obey, and that's what I use when I sync stuff. Not what I intended, Christine, but the tufted pillow look was cool. But yeah, Obey Giant. Yeah, if you go to his website, you can buy the sticker pack. That's what I did. Super cool. What was I going to tell you? Oh, yes, YouTube. And if you go to YouTube, or go to my website, actually. Go to my website, go to tutorials, derrickmitchell.com. Oh, I might not have put it on here, though. So way down here somewhere is a video where I talk about, I think it's right in here somewhere. Right here. How to change the hard drive icons on your Mac. So in this video, look at me being fancy. I show you exactly how. Oh, there's the drive. Look at that. There's my Obey drive. Oh, have you not been able to see any of this? Dang it, Derrick. It's all right. There's my backup drive, and it's got the Shepard Fairy Obey Giant on it, and I love it. Makes me so happy. But I show in this video exactly how to make a drive icon. And so I made an icon that looks exactly like the drive. So then when I plug it into my computer, it shows up on the desktop right there, looking like the drive. Anyway, super tangent. So check that out. All right. So I'm going to get this done, and then I'm going to apply a different coloring to this. I'm going to go back to this brighter orange coloring. Just notice, Christine, that you're using your mouse on your tablet. Does that affect the tablet? I'm frustrated having a mouse pad and the tablet always competing for desk space. 1,000,000%. So when I start, so I'm actually using this. I got this mouse pad at Target, and I think it was $2. It's like flimsy and just barely, I mean, it does exactly what I need it to. And so I just threw it right on top of my tablet for today because my tablet was already here, and I was like, I'm just going to do this real quick because I was doing something real quick, and then I just ended up leaving it here this morning. So the mouse pad protects my tablet from like scuffing it up with the mouse. But what's interesting is this mouse pad is so cheap and so thin, it actually works out great because I can still use, like I could set this here and I could grab my stylus. Oh, I think I turned the tablet off. But the pen actually, and I can actually use the pen against the mouse pad, and it, as far as like the drawing experience, it doesn't feel bad like at all. It actually works really good. Like better than I probably could have even hoped. So anyway, interesting. What's up? Thanks for jumping in. Christine, oh my gosh, I didn't notice that. Moved my mouse pad, problem solved. Send me your invoice. You could make checks payable to Derrick Mitchell, or hey, you could be the very first person to buy me a coffee if you want to. I think this works. I just set this up. So feel free if you're feeling generous. Totally don't have to. I'm more so being a dork. But I just set up this buymeacoffee.com account. So there's that. If that was helpful, go for it. Or not. I honestly, now I'm just being, now I shouldn't have said anything. Now I feel bad, but whatever. Okay. So you can see, so I'm actually using, you can't really see because I changed back. I'm actually using my stylus pen on my Wacom tablet with this tiny little thin mouse pad over the top. And I've got my mouse kind of chilling to the side so I can quickly come up here and scroll if I need to. Yeah, so. All right, let's, I gotta switch back to there we go. You guys want to listen to something different, or is the music okay? I have a hard time listening to music that has words when I'm doing this stuff. If it has words, I immediately get super distracted. So this is a little aggressive. We can change it. And then I get real focused, and then I stop talking. And stop breathing. We've already been over that. Don't forget to breathe, friends. I think something's weird going on with my tablet driver, though, because as soon as I start using it, I feel like my option key, I think there's something weird going on with the Bluetooth connection. Weird. It did this to me yesterday too. It must be something with the tablet driver or the Bluetooth connection. Yeah, it just got jumpy all of a sudden. How am I doing? I'm doing good. If you're just joining the stream, earlier in the stream I mentioned, so my wife is super duper pregnant. Like in the next 8 or 9 days or less, we expect to have a new baby in the house. So that's part of the reason why I'm doing the longer stream today, is because I don't know when the baby's coming, and I want to make sure that I get my work done before Junior shows up. I've got 4 daughters. This is our first boy, probably first and only. I think I'm good at 5 kids. 5 kids is a ton of kids, but it's fun. It's a lot of fun. We love it. I wouldn't change it for the world. So yeah, I'm doing good. I'm a little sleep deprived right now. Haven't been sleeping super great. You're so close. I can taste it. Speaking of tasting it, I haven't eaten today. I'm about to pass out, but it's okay. We're close. We're getting there. Oh my goodness, are we done? No, we still have some pink over here. All right, let's get that. Also, don't forget to save. Uh-oh. Stream just dropped. Oh, it came back. Okay, we're good. Starving. You're not wrong. Starving is when you get nervous and impatient. We start making mistakes. We're so close. I'm just going to get through here. I'm just going to finish this out. The legs. We're super close. So now's the time, guys. If you have questions or comments, let me know, because I'm about to shut it down. We're at the tail end of this. The tail end. See what I did there? You get it? Tail. I'm working on a bowl. These are the jokes, people. These are the jokes. My kids had a half day of school. They just walked in the door. So I'll go have some lunch with my kiddos, save my work, and then I get to go to my downtown office. I've got another project I got to work on, and the guys are down there doing stuff. So my next project after this, I'm going to be working on a website for a client. Fun project. I wish I could show you that one, but I can't. Not till it's done. All right, look at that. Yes, we did it. All right, we saved it. I am so pumped with that. Look at that. Okay. So what I want to do now, I want to update the colors. I've got to do it anyway. So let's just do this. I'm going to make a new document. 8.5 by 11. Because I want to sample these colors, but I don't want it to change everything on the canvas, just this one instance of it. So I'm going to copy this. I'm going to throw it on this other canvas over here. I'm going to change the song because I can't take it anymore. And then let's see, they wanted Lamborghini colors. We'll work that in. And then also these colors from my first stream. We're going to work on these. So I'm going to grab these, copy them, come over here and paste it in. Okay. Oh, it's been a minute since I've done this too. I don't know if I need to. Let me object or edit colors, Recolor Artwork. If I do color library, sorry, I got distracted. I saw movement. Oh, whoa, stop, urge. I got distracted. The window beside me was open and the trees just started moving because it's windy out. And I thought there was somebody standing next to me. That was scary. All right, edit colors. Recolor Artwork. Okay, so now there's a lot of controls that I could do in here. Oh, my kids are home. color theme picker. I don't remember. I don't remember how to use it. It's been a while. But what I'm gonna end up using this. So edit colors to change all of these and make them match these colors, and without having to redo the whole thing and have the whole tones and shades or hue, value, whatever you want to call it, have them all match. We're in the right spot. It's in here somewhere. I don't remember how to do it. I'm gonna have to look it up. I'll have to Google it. But that's what I'm gonna do. That's the next step for this. So then I'm gonna get a few different color options of the bowl. So I'm pretty happy with the shape. I'm happy with the geometric pattern inside of it. So when it's all said and done, here, I'll make this one grayscale. I can do that. That's easy. Edit colors, convert to grayscale. Okay, so now I've got a black and white version or a grayscale version, so I can kind of see if all the tones and the values look good. So I'll send a few different options when I send this. I'll add the text for the logo and we'll be in good shape. So that's pretty much it, guys. I'm about to go grab some lunch. I see, why is this not letting me select? There we go. Tail end, pun intended, 100%, Christine. That was from a while ago. Okay, so here's where we're at. Here's a quick review. So basically, I have this main shape of the bowl, right? Then I created another version based off one in this stance as well. That whole replay is already up on Behance. We went through, did all these things, had some fun with it. Then I made another version, slightly different. Got from there all the way down to here. Had some fun with it, and now it's time for me to go see my kiddos and eat some food. So that's pretty much it for the day, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. I loved hanging out with you today. The replay will be up probably in an hour or so, so if you want to jump back to any point and kind of see how I got to some different things, you can check that out. Also, also, it might have gone down anyway. Looks like my feed went down. If you can hear me, thank you. I'll catch you all later. All right, guys, thanks for watching today. Hope you learned a lot of valuable information, and I appreciate you sticking around to the very end. But before you go, just a couple things I want to remind you. The first is, if you haven't already, feel free to like this video if you can, depending on where you're watching from. Give it a thumbs up or subscribe or tap the bell or give it a follow if you can. And also maybe even just copy the link up in the browser and share it with a friend or post it to your Facebook page. I'd really appreciate that. But again, just want to say thanks for sticking around, and I'd love to continue going live as much as possible and helping you guys out. So the best way that I can help you is by you commenting on the videos below. I read those comments. I engage with them as soon as I can, if I can, when I see them. So if it's live, I'll try and answer you right away. If this is a replay, you can still comment on the video, and I go back and I read those. So I just wanted to say thanks again for watching, and let me know what you're working on. I'd love to help you out, and hopefully we will see you in the next live. And to be sure you don't miss it, like this video and subscribe and follow and do the things. All right, guys, thanks for watching. We'll talk to you later.